Okay, so it isn't long until Reforged comes out, but I do have a couple of replays that I could show before it does, and I can do videos in that instead. And this one is a simple 1v1 pitch battle. I was playing as the Free Peoples of Eriador, and my opponent was playing as Isengard, who we can have a look at over here. He starts off outside of the trees, which was good for him because it means he could actually see where most of his army was deploying, unlike myself. This battle was rather interesting because neither of us could really see what we were doing through the trees, because our battle lines did meet within the trees, rather unsurprisingly, in the middle here. This map is kind of strange. I think this map is Anduin. But yes, it's very narrow, very thin. There's not a lot of opportunity for the flanking, which honestly works better in his favour, to be honest with you, because of his pikes. I do not have any pikemen. I do have a good strong line of Greenway guards to go at the front. They will do a decent job at holding the line, but they will lose after a sustained period of fighting with the uruk-hai pikemen. I do have some merchant militia and some battle-ready Dunedain as my more heavily armed infantry. They'll do a lot more damage, but really I'm going to be relying on my archers, so my Dunedain rangers and my Grey Company horse archers, which are going to be over here on the flank. The only problem that I do have is that he does have crossbows, which means using my cavalry effectively is going to be difficult, and I do have some mounted battle-ready Dunedain up here in the trees. His army is pretty much what you'd expect. He's got a lot of crossbows, a lot of infantry, a lot of pikes, some berserkers mixed in, and some Dunland veterans to pad out his infantry. And then he does have some wargs as well, which neither of us really knew what this battle was going to be like, and it turned out that bringing cavalry was kind of a waste because there isn't much opportunity for you to actually use it and get in behind. You have to really bide your time with them. Nonetheless, I'm going to be moving up my horse archers slowly because the uruk-hai crossbows will really devastate these guys if you let them. And I really need my Grey Company to do a lot of damage to his infantry, because his infantry will best mine. His berserkers and his pikes in particular are something that I can't really deal with too well. My battle-ready Dunedain won't do too badly against the berserkers, but they will still lose. Loosing a lot of arrows here into his uruk-hai infantry and into his crossbows, I believe, are over here, and his berserkers. The berserkers are what I really want to go for, but then here he comes with his crossbow volleys into the side of my Grey Company, and I didn't see these guys. And this is the power of the crossbows. They will mow down cavalry, and these cavalry units are not even that particularly... They don't have particularly heavy armour, so the Grey Company are really sitting ducks here, and that was a really bad mistake by me early on. So I'm having to fall back. Meanwhile, my Dunedain Rangers are in position, in loose formation and ready. Now these guys will do a good job because they have much longer range than the crossbows, so provided the battle lines are favourable for me, I will be able to win the skirmish, especially if I keep what's left of my Grey Company. They got eviscerated by those crossbows. There is a nice gap over here that he might try and exploit with his wargs, but the wargs aren't the best unit, particularly because most of my army is made up of spearmen. The wargs will not last against the spears, nor will they do very well against my arrows, because my Grey Company aren't very well armoured, but the wargs are even worse against skirmishers. Dunedain Rangers, probably the most important unit when you're playing as Eriador. Your archers need to be used well. I was also charging in over here, getting some charges off on the Dunland veterans with my mounted battle-ready Dunedain. Got a decent amount of kills on that unit. I want to stay clear of his crossbows though. My spears are now heading towards the front. Looks like he's going to charge with his wargs right at my spears, which is not a particularly good idea. Oh no, he's now changing his movement. Charging at the spears, not a good idea. He is going to try and go around the sides. It looks like I do have my Grey Company over here, and my archers will start focusing down the wargs so they cannot flank. Wargs very bad against arrows. He is now charging in. The wargs do have a pretty decent charge, honestly, but the problem is in sustained melee against spears, they are going to drop very quickly. Going to send in some merchant militia to sort of patch up this part of the line, because it looks like he is going to do some significant damage to this Greenway Guards unit. Meanwhile, up here in the trees, he is sending his pikemen forwards, but I'm getting a lot of kills with my archers. which is good because I need to thin out his pikes because they will win him the melee fight if I'm not careful. But yeah, we couldn't really see any of this because of the trees up here, but he is marching in into my spears. My spears are in a good position though. The line is holding strong in most places. Over here it's a little bit more dicey because of the overloading of wargs. I did, however, do a flank of my own with my mounted battle-ready Dunedain, getting a good charge off on this uruk-hai infantry. The berserkers are being committed though to this area of the line that he's going into. I'm really just packing this part of the line full of my merchant militia. The merchant militia are pretty well armoured, so they will last quite a long time, and with the support of the arrows, I'm hoping that I will win that fight. I'm also charging in my mounted battle-ready Dunedain over and over into this flank. This is a very large blob of uruk-hai over here, but that is just a very nice target for my archers. Interesting how the just gonna get a screenshot there. Interesting how the Dunedain Rangers are actually able to hit the uruk-hai so close, because oftentimes with most archers I've found that they will actually hit the backs of your own men when you're very close like this, but here it looks like I'm actually, the Dunedain Rangers aren't getting a lot of friendly fire. I'm sending in some mounted battle-ready Dunedain. He's also sending some Dunland veterans around the flank here, but they're such a depleted unit and they're being shot by my Grey Company, which has now fallen back slightly further. This part of the battle is the one part of the battle we could see because it wasn't in the trees. If we go up, this part of the battle is actually going pretty well for me because my archers are able to get a lot of kills. Look at that. The uruk-hai pikes back there are getting slaughtered. And over here their berserkers are getting whittled down. But as we go further up the line over here, we will start to notice that I am starting to lose up here, mainly because his pikes are now in position and I don't have any spare units that I can send around the flank over here, which is a bit of a problem. You know, looking at this, I should have sent one of my cavalry units up here and around to here, so then we could have broken his pikes. My archers are still up here, but they're again shooting into that giant blob down there. It's too good of a target to ignore. But here the pikes have got position on my spearmen. So here they are going to slowly start to win this fight, and in the middle as well. Really it's only one section of the line that I'm actively winning, and that's because I've really overloaded my forces over here. He is now sending his crossbows around the flank, which is a problem for me. I'm going to need to use my mounted battle-ready Dunedain and my Grey Company to try and take out the crossbows, including my archers as well. I'm going to need to trust that my men have got enough of an advantage in melee that they can actually win this now. And again, when you're relying on brute strength as Eriador, something has probably gone wrong. Because Eriador don't do that particularly well. The mounted battle-ready Dunedain are really the only heavy-duty infantry unit they have. I'm sending in my mounted battle-ready Dunedain as in for a charge on the crossbows. They took a lot of fire going in, but really I don't have much choice. I need to silence them as much as possible. He's got some guards of Orthanc in there as well. And that is a real problem because this depleted unit of mounted battle-ready Dunedain are not going to last very long against a full unit of guards of Orthanc. Really need to focus down these crossbows because they will easily win in the battle if they are allowed to shoot the flank of my army over here, particularly because I am starting to win this engagement pretty handily. Guards of Orthanc are going around to the flank as well. He can't afford to commit his men because they will just get shot on their approach. He needs to wait for his crossbows to whittle down my forces. Is this his general unit? Doesn't look like it. I can't see the general anywhere.
Only half our force remains.
Very even fight so far though. The percentage of enemies killed is far higher, but he has his crossbows in a good position. He also still has his berserkers on the front line. But this area is where my infantry are doing very well. But again, up here in the top part of the line, I am starting to lose pretty handily. The pikes are doing their job. I have managed to get 4 mounted battle-ready Dunedain in behind now, but 4 is not going to be enough. Don't know what I'm doing there, but my idea was to try and just disrupt their pikes a little bit. this southern part of the line now. He's also sending in some guards of Orthanc. Is this General? Yes, this is the General. I can see him. There he is. This is a very depleted unit of guards of Orthanc. They must have been hit very hard by archers. Over here, his crossbows are still firing. My Grey Company are still alive, but there aren't very many of them. But really it's my archers that have really done a terminal amount of damage to his main infantry line up there. But now my archers are having to focus down his crossbows, which they're doing a pretty good job of. And now I'm sending in my unit of 4 mounted battle-ready Dunedain to just try and disrupt some crossbows over here. If I can keep the skirmish in my favour, then this should be my battle to win. But he is now sending the guards of Orthanc into the flank, and he is going to silence my archers, which is a good idea. The Dunedain Rangers are no slouches in melee though, and the guards of Orthanc don't do a lot of damage. Survivability is their thing, not kills. Still the Berserkers fight. There are only 16 of them left, but the fact that there are still Berserkers left is impressive because they were committed very early. They're all very bloody there. The Merchant Militia has done a pretty damn good job, although defeat now seems certain for them because this part of the line itself has thinned out rather, but there is battle-ready Dunedain over here. Defeat seems certain for them now as well, which suddenly it looks like the pikes are winning him this fight because my archers have been silenced mostly because the pikes have broken through in the centre and his guards of Orthanc are attacking the flank. These battle-ready Dunedain defeat seems certain. I'm charging in these archers which are out of ammo just to try and patch up the line here before it crumbles. Greenway guards are wavering. Mounted battle-ready Dunedain defeat is a distinct possibility. He is starting to claw it back, it must be said. Now that my archers are running out of ammo, my advantage is starting to wither. And my cavalry is all dead. Well, I say my cavalry is all dead. These 4 mounted battle-ready Dunedain are still in melee against these crossbows and are killing them one by one, which is impressive. These crossbows still firing, which is a problem. This part of the line was mine, but his crossbows have turned the fight around somewhat. He is actually hitting the back of his own berserkers though, which is not good for him. The lines are starting to crumble. For me anyway, it looks like his lines are holding pretty fast with these pikes. But I am still winning in terms of numbers. And over here we still have some Dunedain Rangers firing, and they still have some ammunition. Trying to get these Berserkers and these Guards of Orthanc off the field. As soon as I get free infantry, I can flank around and destroy the pikes. But up here, this fight is going very badly. The top of the battle has been his pretty much from the start. These pikemen doing a very good job against the dismounted battle-ready Dunedain and the Greenway Guards. This unit of Dunedain Rangers is still healthy, however. They still have 113 and they still have ammunition, so I'm trying to shoot into this blob as much as I possibly can. Sending in some crossbows into melee, it looks like. Looks like he's run low on ammunition. This unit of crossbows is still being harassed by my mounted battle-ready Dunedain. Very odd situation, that. Nonetheless, he is now flanking with his crossbows, and things are looking pretty bleak at this point, must be said.
Our general lies slain upon the
And there goes
battlefield.
my general. He was in that tiny little unit. So all of a sudden it's not looking good. His crossbows firing into the backs of my men. And it's starting to look like that way I wasted my Grey Company early on is coming back to haunt me. Berserkers, there is only one Berserker left.
Good tidings.
The enemy general is
lies
dead, and that's actually more important for him than it is for me, because Orc factions tend to have lower morale. And they are shaken now, these pikes. Defeat seems certain. Defeat seems certain for me as well though, and it looks like up here he is breaking through. But now I'm flanking around my rangers. They're out of ammunition, so I'm trying to flank these pikes, and hopefully this will turn this top fight around. And then that will cause a cascading effect where I can flank behind his pikes, because his pikes and his crossbows are what are winning him this at the moment. Even though the numbers are still in my favour, in terms of position he certainly is holding all the cards. Grey Company's still firing missiles, there aren't very many of them though. These crossbows are a real pain at the moment. this bottom part of the fight was in my favour, and now it's very much in his. Although it must be said that he doesn't have a lot of men down here anymore either. And most of his infantry is made up of pikes, so if I can flank around, it's starting to look like maybe I can pull this off. And I am indeed. Slowly and surely this fight will start to shift in my favour because I have battle ready Dunedain and Dunedain Rangers surrounding those pikes. And he's running out of crossbow ammo, I think, and now I've run out of Grey Company ammunition, so I'm going to charge them in. Getting a decent charge off there, getting a few kills. My archers still have some ammunition.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
And now, with all the flanking going on, it's starting to look like once again I am going to win the fight. These pikes up here are still doing a pretty good job, but they are now starting to lose because they are surrounded. And here in the centre, I am technically winning this fight. Although this fight will go on forever, basically. The rest of the battle will decide who wins the centre. Down here he is still winning because of his crossbows. But my Dunedain Rangers back there still have ammunition, and this Grey Company unit has silenced one unit of his crossbows. And they're getting a decent amount of kills. This unit of Grey Company over here, there is only 9 of them. They're firing into this unit of 12. So it's fine margins here. This unit of uruk-hai infantry is still here. He still has a berserker. And a unit of guards of Orthanc. But he has now crossed over the 90 threshold, and I am winning on pretty much every front. The centre is slowly shifting into his favour because of his pikes, but up there, defeat seems certain. They're wavering, they're exhausted. As soon as they break at the top, that's pretty much game, so I'll be able to flank behind this. Oh, and they did break. So his top pikes broke, and that meant that I would have been able to flank around and have my way with his pikes, so I won the fight. So that was an interesting one, to say the least. I got a lot more kills, but then that's because he was an orc faction. Pretty much, you know, pretty even fight, to be honest with you. You know, it was a bit awkward, the fact that we couldn't see, it must be said. But the mounted battle ready Dunedain getting a decent amount of kills, the Grey Company getting a very decent amount of kills, considering they were slaughtered pretty early on. The Greenway Guards didn't, mainly because they had to face pikes. The Dunedain Rangers were of course my stars of the show, 437 kills for one of them. And other than that, the battle ready Dunedain foot units did okay in places in the merchant militia. They were up against mainly berserkers, patching the line there, and wargs, so not expecting a lot of kills from them. But yeah, not a bad performance by Eriador there. Although I do think that Isengard could have won that by being a little bit more aggressive with his crossbows. So yeah, that was Eriador against Isengard. Hopefully I'll be able to post a couple more videos before Reforged comes out, and when Reforged comes out we'll hopefully do some custom scenarios and I'll do some overviews again. And I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching.